So now we're gonna see arrays. An array is a group of variables called elements or components containing values that all have the same type. Arrays are objects, so they're considered reference types. So now we're gonna see an example. We are gonna go into new folder. We are just gonna name it test and open in terminal. We're gonna type code space that so we can open it in Visual Studio Code. And what we are gonna do is we're gonna initialize the elements of an array to the full values of 0. Okay, so we are gonna name this file, we're gonna name it initialize array, so init array, like that Java, so camel notation. And here we're gonna initialize the elements of an array to the full values of 0. So we're gonna have the public class and we are gonna name it init array, and we're gonna open curly braces. Inside of the curly braces we're gonna have the main. Okay, so public, this one, public static void main, and here we're gonna have the, let me see, we are gonna have the integer, no, curly braces brackets has to be integer brackets, and it has to be a space, and we're gonna name it array. So we're gonna declare an array name array. Okay, and now we're gonna create the array object. Okay, it's gonna be here, we're gonna use array and we're gonna use the keyword new integer, so we're gonna use the integer and we need to open brackets, and now the number of elements is gonna be 10, semicolon at the end. Okay, so pretty much we use the keyword new to create an array of 10 integer elements which are initially 0, the default for the integer variables. Here in line 4 we declare an array, a reference capable of referring to an array of integer elements. Okay, so this is, let me see, value is not okay, that's fine. Okay, so line 6 creates an array object and assign its reference to variable array. So now what we are gonna do is we're gonna go below and we're gonna have system. It's gonna be system.out here, and instead of print ln is gonna be print f, print format, and we are gonna have 3 arguments. Okay, 3 strings, and we're gonna start here first. So we are gonna have with the %sign lowercase letter s, it's gonna be %sign and then 8s, and then to the next line. Second argument is gonna be the index, like that, index, and the third argument is gonna be the value. Okay, so this is gonna be the column headings. Okay, so we're gonna output the column headings. The first column contains the index that is gonna be from 0 to 9, since we have 10 elements of each array element, and the second column contains the default value 0 of each array element. And here below we're gonna use the for. We're gonna output each array element's value, so we're gonna have the for loop, and inside of the parentheses we're gonna have the integer counter, and we're gonna initialize it to 0, and we're gonna have the condition as long as counter is less than, and we're gonna use array.length here, array.length. Okay, so as long as the counter is less than array.length, we're gonna increment the counter by 1. semicolon at the end, and not semicolon at the end here, because we're gonna use the system.out.print f format, and we're gonna use the second column that is gonna be 5 here, lowercase letter d, then percent sign 8, lowercase letter d, and then to the next line. So this is our first argument. The second is gonna be the counter, and the third is gonna be the array brackets counter. Let me see, counter, and now semicolon at the end. So this is the end of main, and this is the end of the init array. So let's see, let's play it, and let me move it. Let me do it again. As you can see, we have the index, so we have the index is starting from 0 and is ending at 9, so we have 10 elements and the value is 0. Okay, so, and let me see here in the for statement, so lines 10 to 11 output the index number represented by counter and the value of each array element represented by array inside brackets counter. The loop control variable counter is initially 0. Index values start at 0, so using the 0-based counting allows the loop to access every element of the array. The force loop continuation condition uses the expression array.length, so this one, array.length, to determine the length of the array. In this example, the length of the array is 10, so the loop continues executed as long as the value of control variable counter is less than 10. The highest index value of a 10 element array is 9, so using the less than operator, so using the less than 10 operator in the loop continuation condition guarantees that the loop does not attempt to access an element beyond the end of the array. An example, during the final iteration of the loop, the counter is 9.